How's it going, everybody? It's me, Shane, and I'm here to give you the Digimon Adventure 2020 episode review and recap of episode 67, the final episode of this season, of this, series slash season. And the name of this is called The End of the Adventure. Yeah, and before we reach the end of this adventure, I would like to ask you to please like, comment, and subscribe. It really helps out the channel. I appreciate all 105 of you, and I appreciate those of you who are just watching and have not subbed yet either. I'm thankful that you're watching, but please give me a sub. It helps. Comment, please. Anyway, yeah. We're just gonna go ahead and get right on into it. We pick up in this episode right where we left off last episode. The boys, Taichi and Yamato, are riding on their respective shoulders with the War Greymon side and the Metal Garurumon side. Or, yeah, they're right on this respective sides, I should say. And they're going through a tube, and the tube has eyes. Now, the tube, obviously, is leading to the core of Negamon because they went inside of Negamon. Although he has various names in these forms, but that's neither here nor there. We're going to keep calling him Negamon until the very end. And as I find through, Yamato's making note that they're not being attacked, and Taichi says Negamon is probably waiting for them at the center. And they find this wormhole looking area. They go through it. It goes through the face, changes from green to blue to purple, back to green, because the tunnel they went through was green. And now, at the core, we have this wrapped up thing with eyes, and the eyes, and what this whole Digimon's motif is: eyes become teeth, and teeth become eyes. Which is interesting because this whole entire thing is to consume everything, and you can consume things not just orally but visually. You can consume things by looking at them. So, very interesting thing to note. But Negamon says, "Do you fear me?" And we have two sets of giant eyes behind this figure. That I guess if you compare this to a shonen anime, it's kind of like a key eye, like a its energy and presence is causing wind and stuff like that. Omegamon is just stalwart. He takes all of it with the cape flowing behind him. Of course, Yamato and Taishi, they're tiny humans on his magnificently giant shoulders, so they're trying to hold on. And like I said, the eye turns into teeth and different voices. I'm assuming that it has different voices because it has already consumed other data, turn other things into void beings. We do remember when it touched Tankmon, Tankmon was no longer around Mon. And the different voices saying, I am the one who consumes fear, pain, nothing exists, void, thirst, loss, you know. He's just gonna say he's gonna continue to consume. And relatively, he mostly says this over and over again. He says a couple things differently, but he does say this mostly over and over again, even on the outside. But we'll get to that in a moment. Of course, Yamato and Taishi are a bit. They're like, we're gonna stop you. With the bonds that they've formed with those that they've met, even those they haven't met yet, all of existence is in their hands, and that's why they don't fear him. That's what Taichi says. They don't fear him because everyone's power is flowing through them. And man, I'm gonna show you a picture because I don't. This is a picture coming straight from the anime. I don't have an official picture because they have not officially made this guy yet. I haven't seen. If anybody else has seen it, please let me know down in the comment section. But this is our final villain, our final enemy. Right here, this guy. That is the core center of Negamon. Now, if you pay attention to both sides of him, they kind of look familiar, right? It's kind of like, Omnimon slash Omegamon's shoulder, one being different than the other, even though they're symmetrical, but they're asymmetrical. That is literally this guy's whole motif. And I suspect that he looks like this because when Sephirothmon was gathering all sorts of data, you gotta remember, Argomon slash Algamon has fought Omegamon before, and Omegamon has shown up twice before this third time. So, what is the ultimate form that it should take on? Well, this form that is literally miracles. So, It makes its own nightmarish blade. Of course, Omegamon gets it has the gray, the Greymon sword, the Greymon blade. It's time to go. Let's go. And of course, the villain over and over again saying, in mourning, nothing's gonna be born. He's nothingness. He is the one who erases all. They're rushing in. That's when we get our title screen. I love when they do that. And all the real kids in the real world, they're watching on their devices. Like the adults can see the madness, but the kids can watch the battle online, whether it's their phones, laptops, etc., etc., television screens. And goodly enough, like I kind of spoiled a little bit earlier, the rest of the chosen ones have made it out of that void space. We do have before the reunion, we have Serafimon and Ophanimon. They're fighting these tendrils. They're fighting for their lives out there. And when the others show up, the was it Hikari wants to tell them what happened, but Sora's like, yeah, we already know Taichi's in there, and that's funny. So funny that they have Sora closer to Taichi, and I feel bad for your model because no one's saying like they are in there, but maybe it's again it could be a Japanese language thing. Calm down, everybody. Anyway, um, someone makes note that the Negamon tendrils on the outside of this giant shell are moving kind of oddly, and Koshiro says, "Wait a minute, because they're on the inside fighting, it's diverting most of its resources on the inside, so it can't properly fight us on the outside. Let's fight this thing and force it to try to switch between the two. So if we beat it up out here, it'll get beat up on the inside." And that's what they do. The body's control is lagging. Remember, it's a digital being. If you do too much on, your computer devices, especially your phones, things can lag out. And I really like this. This is one of my favorite things is teamwork. Like they're not sitting on the sidelines; they're actually getting right into it. Of course, break the chain musical orchestra starts. We get the orchestra version just like we got last episode, and basically Negamon is copying all of Omegamon stuff. Like they are almost mirror images. Once they clash and break, they both jut off of the sides of this subspace and keep clashing back and forth. Your model's already, bright blue Digivice glows even brighter. This is something brand new. This has not happened. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but this has not happened in any of the movies that Omegamon with his two partners have shown up. When the Digivice glows, that Garuru arm opens up to fire missiles, and that's pretty awesome. Negamon, of course, does it uses this little eye power, copying Omegamon, and stops the missiles and they explode. But Yamato again, there's more missiles in the giant Garurumon head, and he's destroying all the missiles, but it doesn't matter. This is really really cool and badass, and he goes ahead and makes his own missile arm. Kind of reminds me of Disney hero. What do they call him in Japanese? In Japanese they call him Blue D, but in English he is call him Destiny Hero Plasma, and looks just like it because that extra mouth has all his teeth. It has a flesh cannon missile, and he's firing. So he's just firing at them. Fires this nasty missile. He even fires a massive beam. And now it's Taichi's turn. While your model is the offensive one, Taichi's already orange Digivice is glowing even brighter, and that War Greymon side. Remember the shield? Makes an even bigger shield, and he's able to just like crank it up to make it even bigger. And one of the cool things that Negamon does, he's firing goop missiles that end up becoming that last form that he had and tries to bite them, but the shield can amp up its energy to burn it off. This fight is pretty really good. Any description I give you, if you watch people reaction videos, no, you got to watch this for yourself. Full screen, watch this for yourself. It's amazing. And then Yamato, of course, again, the human partners working with their Digimon. Yamato goes ahead and it's time for their version of the Garuru shot, and they're firing the beams, and it collides, and the collision. I love it when animes do this. The collision makes the subspace around them change 3 different colors before it explodes again, and now they're having Dragon Ball Z level clashes where they're zooming and stuff because now it looks like space. This is one I didn't realize they turned to space until later on when I'm watching and taking notes. They're clashing, and of course he's going through the same thing, talking about void, mourn, I consume, pain. He just repeating things in different voices, mind you. One of the cool moves, and this is what I love about this show, is during the battles, their Digimon do evolve and adapt. To deflect his little fleshy Buster arm, they use their own Garuru arm to smack it, and use the this thing is full has a cape with eyes. It uses the eye cape to fire beams. Their cape is not just for flying; it's used to deflect those missile blasts, and they can seal the Garuru cannon under by the with the cape, fire underneath it, and actually get a direct hit because they concealed it. Of course, their cape gets tattered, but remember, Garurumon's shots are ice cold, so half of it gets frozen, and we finally get a moment where this guy starts to get the death static that a lot of Digimon get once they're taking heavy damage. The War Greymon sword starts glowing, and they go for the stab, and unfortunately, this thing's like a zipper. Its body is teeth and eyes, so it just opens up the mouth and bites down, starting to start that void process, making Omnimon slash Omegamon its blade white, its body white, starting to affect Taichi and Yamato. Things aren't looking so good. But on the outside, they're having a tough time for it. But then Joe was the first one to start off, smacking his cheek, saying, "No, we're not giving up." And each of them, as they go through their inspirational speech with their partner Digimon, we get their crest symbols flashing up. I wasn't going to go through and write everything they said because what Yamato and Taichi said was obviously it's the most important thing, right? And by the way, on the outside, they're handling business. Like Rosemont did a cool thing of like using the whip to tie up a tendril, and then the rapier to just cut it up, like Devil May Cry style. And back on that side, Taichi and Yamato are covered in that void pattern. And Yamato says whether it's fear or pain, and another thing I like is that because they are fighting on top of a fused Digimon, they are kind of finishing each other's sentences, or at least reflecting off of what the other person's trying to say and think. So, they say whether it's fear or pain, they've overcome them both every time, and all of the crest symbols float one by one into the symbol that the show has been this entire time. That show symbol is Omegamon. It's the helmet right there. That's the helmet. It's the entire helmet. And now, and they say our potential won't be stopped by anyone. They fight off that void effect, and it goes all the way back from where it came from. Suddenly, uh, Negamon's form gathers up that dark lightning in its left arm. Is going to come down for a slash. The Garuru arm, that's usually a Buster Cannon, has turned into a blade now. That blade is blocked. The Greymon blade starts to sparkle as well, and they do a double slash. Well, now that they're free, suddenly the it turns back into the Garuru cannon, but now the Greymon side, the War Greymon side, turns into a cannon as well. Kind of looks like Blitz Greymon's cannon, and they're having their own arm cannon Buster battle brawl. And I'm laughing at my notes because everyone's talking about they did filler. First of all, guys, filler only counts if there's an official manga and the episodes don't progress the story. All of their episodes have progressed their stories and character arcs in one way or another. So those side mega evolutions actually mattered. Because now this guy's doing multiple eye blasts and multiple beams that collide, and through the smoke, they have turned into my favorite Omegamon slash Omnimon. Omegamon, Omnimon, all tier S. Look at that. Look at that. I know it's blurry and I apologize, but that the animation for this episode was sweet. It was basically movie level. Very much movie level. You see that? See that? Yamato, Taichi, the little glowing parts. And just for you guys, I know I've shown a picture of Omegamon Altair S before, but I didn't read through his encyclopedia, and I'm going to read through it real quick. It's a new face of Omegamon that was born from the fusion of War Greymon subspecies, Blitz Greymon, and Metal Garurumon subspecies, Crest Garurumon. Although it is a different individual from the Omegamon belonging to the Royal Knights, its multi-type performance, which combines the special qualities of two, hasn't changed one bit, and its strength is also on par with the original Omegamon. It is a mystery how the two Digimon came to fuse together, whether this Omegamon is also due to someone's powerful will, or a fusion that solely exists due to some sort of wish is unclear. The wish is literally the hopes of everyone in the real world that's watching this fight saying you can do this. And it's all of the Digimon saying you guys can do this. I love the fact that they needed to change forms because hey, this guy copying us pretty dang well and doing its own thing to hurt us. Copied Omegamon very well. So we're gonna show him an Omegamon that he's never seen before. Special moves are firing plasma from its Blitz Greymon shaped turret, the Grey Cannon, and furthermore, its Garuru sword varies in slashing power due to the amount of energy it accumulates at the center of its sword. Because it has a little, it's like a little hook sword. You see that much better in the anime than you do with still pictures. Even in the card game, it's you can see the hook in the card game, but if you're not paying attention to it, you would think it's a straight blade. Which I love the subtle differences. Like the gray the gray cannon is much bigger because it's extending much further than the Garuru cannon. I do appreciate that. There's nothing that cannot be cut by a slash attack from its fully charged Garuru sword. And they were not lying. So let's go ahead and get back through this. So once we get that nice, I showed you a picture, that nice picture of Omegamon Altair S appearing. Negamon is just like, all right, now I'm going straight in. It comes straight in at them with the with the gray cannon. It holds it in place. Remember, Blitz Greymon has electromagnetic powers along with the turrets, the shooty powers. Holds it in place, and that Garuru sword, it twinkles. Just the shimmering gold we saw in the episode with Crest Garurumon, tenfold on this one because even their evolution had a nice little gold. I like to call it star lens flare. You know what I'm talking about? The little star lens flares. That happens once it slashes. This thing gets cut in half like it's worse than when Frieza got cut in half by Trunks. This is amazing. It cuts in half and its one massive eye starts to fade because that's exactly where it got cut. And its darkness that's inside of it spirals out of it. It looks like a lumpy, meaty mass with teeth now, and it's gonna try to eat them. We get a massive golden explosion with those star twinkles, and out on the other end is Omegamon Altair S mode, and it's Altair form kind of shimmers off of it, and we get the original Omegamon, and it's fully healed after that. Like the cave is no longer in tatters after all that. And I wrote my notes. I forgot that they were fighting in space this entire time. And actually, once Altair S makes these attacks, it goes from like a dark starry night to a more rainbow colored aurora borealis type of subspace. And now finally, Negamon says something different. Says, "I vanish." And I love the combined voice of Gabumon and Agumon. It actually makes it sound like a completely different character because the Agumon voice actress, she's speaking a lot lower, but you can still hear her match the tone of Gabumon. And it's saying, no, since you're a Digimon too, you're probably gonna come back as a Digi-Egg since we stopped you from destroying everything, right? And then you'll be in existence that's evil, or maybe you'll be in existence that's good, or maybe he's like, no, you're gonna go beyond that because we have you know endless potential. Basically saying, hey, even if you're born of darkness, who cares? You don't have to be bound by those chains. Even if you're bound by light, you're a being of light. You don't have to be bound by anything. You have endless potential. And flat out says, until we meet again. So the Greymon blade comes out again. It's a gold color. Does another swipe, and that's that transcendent blade that destroys everything. Get that same golden explosion, and now Taichi's floating in the Matrix. It's as if we're watching the Matrix. Got ones and zeros. All the chosen children are here because that one swipe not only, excuse me, not only destroyed the inside, destroyed the outside. Because others saw when the giant shell was just crumbling as they were saying, it's gonna vanish. But yeah, that swipe destroyed everything. All the children meet up with their Digimon, and they know. They even flat out say the adventure's over. But what they were saying sounded like goodbyes. Like they were just saying over and over again the things that partners would say to each other. And I should have picked up on something being different because Mimi and Palmon, Mimi was like, "What are we gonna do tomorrow?" And Palmon's like, "We'll figure it out tomorrow." That's when I was like, "Oh man, this is kind of sweet." But then this area goes from being ones and zeros to being bright orange with those lights that were powering them up earlier. The real world has been healed. The void is gone. All the children around the world are smiling. Even in the digital world, all that stuff is cleared up and there's light everywhere. And one thing I didn't pay attention to, if you look at that landscape, those hills look like a massive wyvern Digimon. I wonder if that's a shout out to Examon. Examon is a pretty massive Digimon. I digress. Now there's just Digi eggs are popping up all over that forest of beginning that Pedaldramon created. And the last four light statues that we met in episodes, I want to say 4 or 5, with Sora and Taichi, they thank the chosen children. And now, even Taichi, but Taichi says to Agumon, this isn't the end for us, right, Agumon? And it's like, nah, it's not. And the adventure is going to continue to a new world, which is okay. But now, we have a little dark koala Digimon. I don't remember his name. He's asking why is my soul. Digital World was saved. This is a rookie Digimon, by the way. Was saved by humans. He's like, well, no, the chosen ones who are humans that partner up with Digimon, they saved everything. But and, and this is so funny because at the same time, almost Lopmon is telling other new rookie Digimon with Commandamon sitting there telling them about what has happened. Now it's technically a new world because the digital world and real world are technically overlapped with each other. And Leomon, who is alive, is also telling a little baby white Botamon about what's going on. And a couple of Digimon like, I want to go to the human world. I want to meet humans. And Wisemon even wonders, with the merging of the worlds, what's going to happen. And he says, and then he's confusing a lot of the younger Digimon, but he says, one thing I do know, a new Digimon is born, and we see an egg that more than likely is supposed to be who Negamon was, because when it cracks, we just see one shiny eye. Another nice little eye catch is that there's Arbormon, the human spirit of wood, which is the other side of Pedaldramon. I wonder if that is Pedaldramon coming back to life as a reincarnation, which pretty interesting. You didn't think I would catch it, Toei. You didn't think I would catch it, Bandai, but I caught it. We are then greeted to seeing all the other Digimon we met along the way. Rebellymon is racing its Machmon. Volcamon and Edamon are in the foreground of that background scene. They're in the foreground riding on Tankmon, while some weird monkey Digimon are riding on Kiwimon. I've never seen these monkeys. The real Manzemon is being nice at the Manzemon Park. Shakuamon and Junkmon are, building up that area, that secret area. Mancho Mayamon finally graduates, and that little Lalamon, evolved into Lilamon, the ultimate form. So, good for you. We got Jagamon with Bergamon again. And, yes, the Robimon again is honoring the fallen from that episode when we got to see Crest Garurumon. And they're Harugarimon, the rookie gear Digimon that are kind of floating around the flower bodies of the was that Mechanoramon? No, of the one machine Digimon Gardramon and Andromon. So there's new life there as well. Maybe that's actually Andromon back to life. We get to see the Undersea Digimon, which I don't really care about. We see Eldoradimon, who is this big ass Golden City Turtles paddling. And Leomon sitting on there, and the young Digimon asks, well, what happened to the chosen children after battle? And Leomon says, well, they finished the battle and they returned home. This thing that they did was so funny and so smart. So we see the Yagami home, and we see Hikari's back on the terrace. And she runs, but then we see little Gatomon feed. We're given shots of everybody, and it's the one that's most obvious is we see Yamato from the neck down, and we see what's obviously Gabumon in a hoodie with sunglasses as Tagaru meets his brother, and Patamon's ear falls out of the bag. Goemon's helping Joe study, like he said Joe could study. Uh, Sora is running with Piomon flying behind her, and we see Piomon's back in her shadow. And then one of the best one out of this was the new Mimi Kingdom and Company, where Mimi's drinking tea that Palmon gives to her. Again, we don't see her direct face or Palmon's direct face. We just see the bottom lip. And directly across from her desk is Koshiro. Didn't expect those two to pair up as a team. I like where that's going. Um, he's working on something that is said. Hold on, I wrote this down. Now, they spelled chosen wrong because it's English. They put chosen with two O's. It's supposed to be one, but Chosen One Adventure to a New World Digital Gate Trial Version 9 X 1X 9. And Leomon says no. He says no. They might possibly, and we hear ticking. After the ticking goes away, we obviously see Taichi laying in the grass underneath this tree, but the tree has that same digital hatching that the trees in the digital world have. We get what is obviously Agumon running because we don't see these guys' faces for whatever reason. And he just goes, good, because we're not supposed to hear what he's saying. And Taichi gets up, pats himself, and says, all right, let's go. Episode ends. Before I get into the stuff I have in my notes written right here, I'm just going to say the encyclopedia was Koromon. And why was it Koromon? Well, just like Koshiro / Izzy said, this is how Tai first met Agumon. Because Koromon can turn to Agumon, and this is where his partner came from. And he said, this is where everyone's adventure began, with this meeting. And Koshiro says, everybody will see you again in a new world someday. First of all, wow. First thing in my notes, I'm going to say last. I love this episode, just flat out, 5 out of 5. Better ending than the first 0-1. Because they didn't make it sad, and they didn't do the whole, oh, we got to separate. Like, no, you guys are coming with us. We'll figure all this other crap out later. You're here. I love that. I love that the enemy is sometimes cliche when it's like your villain does what you do, but it makes a lot of sense that this Digimon that has gathered data just so it can take all the data found 2 instances of this super powerful Digimon that's gotten rid of 2 oppressively powerful forces with the Mega Argomon as well as the Nidhoggmon. And like, alright, I'm gonna copy this. I love that. That battle was really good. I love seeing my favorite Omnimon, Omega Omnimon R Tier S. Or should I say just Omnimon R Tier S? Loved that they did that. And it makes sense. If you've been paying attention to the subtle hints, they had to not only use they had the hopes and wishes of everyone in their group as well as everyone on the outside to get to Omegamon, then to get to the Altair S form. They had to evolve during the fight. Like, they had to do new and different tricks than how they were fighting before because this thing had already studied them. Bravo for that. I love that they, I already said I love that they stay with each other. I like that they're making a gate, and I wonder if Taichi is the one that's testing out the gate, going back and forth to help with certain things. That would be interesting, because I can't see him just staying there and not going back with his sister. That doesn't make any sense. Which was, all this was kind of hinted at in the second ending, where the Digimon were in the real world with the children. They've really put everything up front for us. That's pretty interesting. I'm gonna say that's second to last. I love how Negamon was more or less, I don't want to say redeemed. It's just saying, hey, when we say everyone deserves a second chance, you are definitely included. And I appreciate that. I appreciate the fact that they use the whole death recycle thing to say, if you didn't learn your lesson this time, hope you learn it next time. If you don't learn next time, we're just going to keep beating you until you figure this out. Which this and listen, I remember some before online I saw someone say, well, doesn't the rebirth cycle kind of ruin things? No, because if you don't beat somebody right then and there, you start from zero and have to work your way up, and you might not have enough time to do that if the bad guy wins. um I already mentioned that there was no filler. I love how they worked in the extra mega forms in this. That's just amazing. And overall, good job. One of the best things is Leomon lives. Leomon lives. Spray paint that on the side of a fire hydrant. Spray paint that not on someone's home, but I don't know. Just sing it to the heavens. Leomon lives. First series. The curse is broken for now because they're gonna come back. It's so obvious they're gonna come back. And my last thing I want to say, because this is run longer than my normal ones, but this is the last Digimon Adventure 2020. Ghost Game comes out next week on Sunday, August 3rd. August 3rd. Wow. October 3rd. Yeah, I didn't think it was going to come out that soon. So maybe I'll give you guys a retrospective in the middle of the week. I know some of my normal shows aren't going to be showing up this week. So I'll try to give you a retrospective on all this quickly because next week we got Ghost Game. I'm looking forward to seeing Gamamon again. 5 out of 5. Let me know what you thought of this whole entire thing in the comment section down below. As always, please give me a like. Please subscribe, and when you subscribe, hit the notification bell so you can be notified of all of my Digimon videos. I told you the Digitrain is not going to stop. As always, share the video so others can hear my detailed breakdowns as well as the play-by-play, and you can tell me if I miss anything. I sincerely mean it when I say I want comments. Good criticisms and good comments, nothing nasty, but I appreciate comments all the same. As always, I appreciate every last one of you. Please be good, be blessed, wash your hands, wear a mask, be safe out there. Be good to yourself, be good to others. Please don't be a jerk, and I will definitely see you next time.